Hi, my name is Josh Markovich. I'm one of the teaching assistants here at the Jim McLean Golf School at the beautiful Miami Beach Golf Club. Thank you for stopping by today. We're going to talk a little bit about the X Factor. You've probably heard the X Factor discussed on TV or golf magazines or radio or something of the like. It's a pretty popular term now. So what is the X Factor exactly? Well, Jim McLean and Carl Welty first studied the X Factor back in the early 90s when they really first had film cameras in, were really looking at how people turned and sequenced their swing. So first off, the X Factor is going to be the differential in the turn between our hips and our shoulders. This turn, when we look from the aerial view, and we have some lines like these alignment sticks, will form an X. So the larger the gap we have between our shoulder turn and our hip turn, that creates torque. And that large differential in the gap in our X, so this would be our hip turn and our shoulder turn, we have a big differential. We have more of an ability to create power in the golf swing. You'll see some of the bigger hitters on tour really create that huge differential in themselves, like a Rory McIlroy or a John Daly back in the day, Vijay Singh back when he was playing at his best. They had huge differentials, were able to get the ball a long way down the fairway. So what happens is the shoulders do the majority of the coiling and the lower body begins to resist a little bit. That resistance is called the X Factor stretch. And we want to feel that resistance in the shoulder. We want to feel that resistance, and that's going to be that torque I was talking about. The shoulders will always outturn the hips. The shoulders turn probably about twice as much as the hips do. And what does this do? This provides an athletic motion as well into the golf swing. People say golfers aren't athletes, but you'll see the great power hitters in baseball or a quarterback that can throw a football a long way. Like if I'm a power hitter here, I get here, first thing I do is I coil back, I step, my hips begin to move, and then my upper body moves if I want to hit that fastball over that left field wall in Fenway, over the Green Monster. So that adds that little bit of a factor in golf. So it creates that athletic motion. It's similar to how we throw a football. Like we'll coil back, step, turn, and then we throw. It's the same motion really in the golf swing. If we look at it here, we coil back, lower body begins to move first. Once it moves, then we can rotate our body. Or like we're skipping a stone across the lake, it's the same thing. Then we go, turn, and everything follows. So creates a little bit of athleticism within the golf swing. So another thing that we can look at when it comes to the X Factor is also called the Y Factor. And the Y Factor is pretty much the X Factor face on. From the face on view, the X Factor is aerial. Y Factor is going to be face on. So like you, the guys out here, are going to be looking at it. So what that is if this was tall enough, you'll see I start my shoulder right up against this alignment rod. You'll see me turn. That differential created between my shoulder turn here and that rod, that will be the Y Factor. That's another thing Jim and Carl Welty looked at, was the amount of difference that the left shoulder moved in the swing. And that's another way we can see how people create power. It's the same swing view really. There's one's aerial, which is the X, one's face on, which is the Y. This is a good thing to think about. Just like I said before, it provides a little bit of athleticism in the golf swing. And people who've played other sports like a tennis, baseball, or we're a quarterback, something like that, we can relate to the golf swing. So like I said before, for hitting an overhand shot in tennis, we coil, hips move, and then our shoulders move. It's the same motion in golf. It helps our sequencing as well from the top. See, a lot of the golfers get to the top of their swing and then they try to swing with their hands. That's one of the things we can't do. This is a great way. And you can also work on this at home. Put a couple alignment rods or a broomstick, something that we can fit in between our belt loops, something we can place across our shoulders. we can work on seeing that X. You can see that X even here, just looking down, is in creating some sort of turn here. There's a good rule of thumb: the shoulders would always outturn the hips, typically about 2 to 1. And the bigger the differential, the more power you're gonna have. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.